So I'm a tour guide at Concordia College, where I'm a current student. I was expecting a different reaction. So one of the things that I do is I get to talk to a lot of seniors in high school about, their college search, so the things that they're looking about, what they want to do, things they're involved in, that kind of thing. And I always get this question about, well, what was your senior year like? And this is the true version of what my senior year was like, because I can't really tell it to seniors in high school, or I'd probably get fired. So, it all starts in August. So I am not 18 yet, I'm 17. Most of my friends, they're 2 years older than me. So it's the end of the summer, and we want to do this thing that we call man camping. So, because all my closest friends are guys, and there's about 10 of us. So we all like to hang out together most of the time, just guys. So man camping is a tradition that we did for 2 years in a row. The first time that we did it was when I was a junior in high school, and we just went to this little campsite. It usually involves a lot of alcohol, some drugs, and usually lots of vomiting. But it's usually lots of fun. So August before my senior year of high school rolls around, and we're trying to plan a little bit more of an elaborate event. So we want to go camping again, do this man camping thing. But this time we want to travel a little bit further away. So we go an hour away. But before we leave, we have to do all this planning. What are we going to do? What are we going to bring? Where are we going to go? So we find this campsite in Ortonville, Minnesota, and we probably should have realized, when there's a tornado the day that you're leaving, that maybe that's a sign you shouldn't go. But we figured, what's the worst that could happen? It seemed like a good idea at the time, So we leave. We drive through the tornado. It's dark out, even though it's 3 o'clock, and it's kind of scary. We have to delay our trip on the way there several times, and we don't get there until it's dark. But we make it. We set up the tent in the dark. We use our flashlights. And this is like a 5-day trip. We're going camping. And like I said, it involves lots of alcohol, some drugs, maybe some questionable, incidents that happen. But, so like I said, this is the kind of story I can't really tell seniors in high school. Like, hey, what were you doing the summer before you went to college? I was camping with my family. So, we're camping for a few days, and it's a really good time. And then 2 days before we're done, a couple more of my friends come out because they're hearing about all the fun that we're having. And they come out, and when they get there, some people are maybe partaking in a few illicit, illegal activities. Marijuana is involved, I'll say that much. And one of the things that we like to do is climb trees. It's a pun, get it? We're high. We thought we were so clever. So, before my two other friends get to the campsite, we're climbing this tree. It's really nice out. It's beautiful. We're probably about 30 feet up in the air. And we come down, we greet them. We show them our campsite, take them on a little tour. And then, I want to show my friend, how high we got up in this tree. So we start climbing again, me and then this friend who wasn't there before but is there now. So we're climbing, and, friends are making Curious George jokes about me because, the monkey and the trees. Yeah, they just think they're so clever. Anyway, so we're climbing, and we're up there about 30 feet. I'm looking at my friend, kind of talking. I make the joke again, and he laughs. We're kind of just looking out at the lake. It's beautiful. And then, as I'm looking at my friend, the branch that I was sitting on snaps. And I start to fall, about 30 feet down. And as I'm falling, I don't really remember what I was thinking in the process, but I do remember that my eyes were open the whole time. And the one thing that I do remember is my friend's face. And he was like... And so the branch snaps, and I fall 30 feet. I land on my back. All my friends are really concerned, but still kind of high, so they're still pretty mellow about it, like, oh my God. And so they call the ambulance. They put a blanket over me, and I'm on the ground, and they decided the best idea is not to move me, which was smart. And I couldn't move my legs, so that was scary. But, like I said, I'm kind of in shock. They're trying to relax me down. They're like, hey, well, let's smoke some more weed, while we're waiting. And I say no, and so they do it anyway. So anyway, we're waiting for the ambulance. The ambulance comes. They take me to the hospital. And then I get to fly in a helicopter. So at that point, I was really high. And so they fly me to the helicopter. I go down to HCMC. I still can't move my legs at this point. And I'm in a lot of pain, obviously. My friends were really great the entire time. And I get to the hospital, and they tell me that they're going to have to do a surgery. So I have to do this 12-hour surgery, and I find out that my spinal cord was actually pinched. So that's why I was paralyzed from the waist down. The cool thing about that injury, though, is when it's nerve damage, morphine doesn't work. I know, right? So, like, when morphine, the pain-relieving drug, doesn't work, you're pretty much screwed, right? But it was fine. I ended up, like, falling asleep that night. My family came down, and I had the surgery, and I'm in rehab for several weeks, and they tell me that my chances of walking alone again are, like, 1 in a million. And then 2 weeks later, I leave the hospital on one crutch. So I get out of rehab. I went through physical therapy, and it was just kind of a great experience. So that's how my senior year started. I went back to school, and I couldn't drive for a long time. But I remember I was at the gas station pump when they finally let me drive again, and I was just pumping gas, and I thought, man, this is so great. I'm pumping gas on my own. Then the rest of my senior year progresses, and in April, this is, like I said, the best, worst year of my life, because I had this accident, but then I got better, and it was cool. Then in April, still my senior year, there's a house fire at my house, and my house burns down. I know, right? This is a depressing story, but it gets better. So the house, it doesn't work out so well. Obviously, they have to can it, and that spurs a divorce among my parents. So my parents decided to break up. I was the youngest in the family. They figured, they're 18 now, so now we can separate. We'll work out. And I'm really glad I was old enough at that point. So, like I said, this was probably the worst year of my life. But that summer, I made some of the closest friends that I'd ever made just due to the process of having to explain and think back, wow, it's a good thing that you are the person that you are. It's a good thing that I was surrounded with the friends that I had. So, like I said, it seemed like a good idea at the time.